haven't watched this guy in a little bit, but he blocked me on Twitter. His name is Diversity in Dragons. And this is a thumbnail called Lara Croft Insufferable Nag. The Tomb Raider RPG, Lara Croft is now an anti-colonialist shrew. And then he has a picture of, like, she's got, like, a belly and stuff. And I'm assuming he thinks she's not hot. And boy, do I have news for this guy. His AI art of chubby Lara Croft, I guess, with pink hair, could in fact get it.
Because nobody knows more about lesbian scissoring than men with
I love this place!
He shaved? He used to... Oh, boy. We're going through an identity crisis, I think. What's happening here? This didn't happen. When did this happen? I gotta go back to... This wasn't here a month ago. Were you shaved in this video? 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? I gotta know.
Don't worry, though.
Oh!
They'll bury your character with his +1 fidget spinner.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah, wow. It's a bad look. All right, go back to the goatee. I take it back. I take back every bad thing I said about your silly goatee. The hat's gotta go, though. The shades are a loser for me as well. God, he is just looking older and older.
I think it's safe to say that the tabletop role-playing game industry has been completely infested with sociopathic narcissists. These people have managed to downplay and push aside the traditional RPG fan base from the mainstream with comparative.
Not the trads.
In the process,
no.
They've essentially made
Not
an
the
entirely
trads.
different species of gamer. It's hard for people who played from the early 80s onward, like myself,
Boomer,
to recognize what some people consider role-playing these days. From the over-the-top acting and GMing to...
he hates people role-playing. Dude, I don't understand. Like, play your own game. Play your boring little game. I'm going to role-play at my table, personally.
Literally every player at the table wanting to be a furry of some kind.
That is not my experience, but you can be a furry at my table.
I mean, where are the straight human fighters these days?
Lots of straight human fighters.
Where are the Cheetos and Mountain Dew, for that matter?
This guy is lamenting the Cheetos and Mountain Dew. Buy Cheetos and Mountain Dew. You can have it at your table. I don't mind.
Cheetos!
They're right next to you.
I cast a spell. Where's the Mountain Dew?
In the fridge, duh!
Where have all the cowboys gone?
Huh?
Many of these nouveau gamers are right now much more prone to want flavor of the day, left-leaning politics as part of the gaming experience.
What does that mean?
Representation by furry or the introduction of things like the absurd
What does that even
combat
mean,
wheelchair.
The combat wheelchair? Dude, you need to just don't use the combat wheelchair in your game. You can be as fucking weird as you want in your game. I was a straight human fighter once. Wait. Oh. Yeah, you were. He's a gunslinger.
RPGs must now make a
Forgot that's a
socio-political
fighter
statement,
for a second.
as well as being entertainment to attract this new market. The problem is that those two things, socio-political statements and entertainment, are pretty much at odds. Some of the games catering to these folks have become nothing more than North Korean Juche propaganda comics.
Uh-oh.
There's a fantastic essay, I'll link to below, about the death of geek subcultures. It's called Geeks, Mops, and Sociopaths.
This is an excellent essay. The guys are really in their feels, writing essays on their blogs. It's getting pretty rough out there for the boomers.
It details the life cycle, perhaps inevitable, of cool things created by nerdy minds, which begets communities, which grow and attract normies. That's when it becomes mainstream. Think D&D and its relationship with Stranger Things here.
Okay.
But eventually, when it gets big enough, the sociopaths show up. And they are the harbingers of death for any subculture.
The sociopaths. I don't know if he knows what sociopaths means. I mean, just people not wanting, like, certain themes in their games when they're hanging out. Like, you know, misogyny or whatever. Like, who cares, man? It's a fantasy game. Can't they escape from reality and not have misogyny around every once in a while? Like, our games don't feature a lot of misogyny because I'm not misogynist. So I don't usually think about building it into the culture. I would say the most misogynist thing ever is usually like some rich asshole guy, or some guy will I don't even know if misogyny would be it. He might like hit on one of them, but I mean, we kind of equal opportunity that. I don't know. We don't really have a lot of. Can you believe we don't look? Not to toot my own horn, chat. We don't have a lot of problematic NPCs. We do have a lot of evil ones, though.
They tear through it like Lizzo at a Golden Corral buffet bar,
Please?
destroying everything as they suck out every last dollar they can.
Golden Corral. First of all, when you go to a buffet, you don't try to eat your money worth. Second of all, I haven't been to a buffet in ages, but I have been joking with Sarah about going to the Golden Corral in town for like 6 years, and we've never once gone in. We laugh and laugh, but she'll never go with me. She's scared. She's scared she'll get a little taste of gold, and then she'll want to go back time and time again to the Golden Corral, where the boomers eat cottage cheese off their spoons in tiny laps. They lick it off. The early bird special. A little diarrhea. Fuck yeah, dude. Even the bad guys at Jake's tables are woke. Shake my head. Are they? So I like having bad guys that have real motivations, and oftentimes those might be woke-ish motivations. I say the group is trying to get woke in the campaign. Every time I come back to stream, Jake is slumped lower in his chair. I just sat up, didn't I? Huh? Becoming the chair. How dare you guys? You dare come into my subathon day 4 and expect great posture? Day 4 of this shit. You think my back? Actually, it's more like my ass. You think sitting exactly the same way on my ass 12 hours a day for 4 days straight is a viable option for me? It's not. I'm going to change my booty positions. If I could lay sideways on stream, I would be doing it. I do, well, what kind of, so I don't like coconut water, but I like coconut stuff sometimes. Sometimes. Like a macaroon or like a Mounds or an Almond Joy type beat. I can get down with that. Maybe on a little fruit bowl situation. Bed stream. Bring the bed in.
Like comics, tabletop RPGs are a great case study for this. I believe we're somewhere in the beginning final stages. The invasion is in full force. The original geeks have been pushed aside.
You guys just want to see me lay down and lounge like a Greek goddess. Or god, I guess. You just want to see me lay around like Dionysus. That's what you guys want. Animals, all of you. And I have a limited edition Zero Sugar Creamy Coconut Dr. Pepper. Oh, wait, from recently? Can I just find it? If I can find a coconut one, you don't have to give it to me. Unless you want to unless you're trying to deliver me one, I'll take your hand delivered Dr. Pepper. Zero sugar. Dude, their zero sugar alternate flavors kind of suck though.
And the normies are getting fleeced with pale imitations of what brought them
Hedonism stream at 6900.
The scene in the first place.
What's he
I've
bitching
detailed
about?
the major companies of the industry, Wizards
Is he getting quiet or am I just
of
dumb?
the Coast, Paizo, Cobalt Press, and some of the people that they employ.
Hello?
People who despise their traditional customer base of white men. Even though a fair percentage of those men probably share similar political thoughts as they do. But even those companies are not quite 100% evil, at least not yet. There is one company, however, that flouts its commie bona fides like a badge of honor. It's Evil Hat Productions. Now, they were known for a long time for
They're
their
wokies? Evil Hat Productions is a bunch of wokies?
Fate system, which had funny dice with pluses and minuses in it, if you've ever seen those. And that powered games like Spirit of the Century, Fate of Cthulhu, The Dresden Files. Like so many companies, they were probably liberal all along, but didn't really shove anything in your face as a company too aggressively before the mid-2010s. And unfortunately, they went crazy along with the rest of the world.
Libs.
And now they make no bones about where they stand. Fascists need
I
not
could eat an
play
orange
them.
for hours, chat.
Fascists for them, of course, being anyone to the right of, say, Bill Clinton. But in the last few years, in coordination with, or because of, their new Marxist mission statement, the quality of their games has been slipping. Chief among them is Thirsty Sword Lesbians, written by a trans-identified
I don't know if I can eat out an
woman
orange on stream
who is
for too
also,
long.
surprise, a lesbian. Because nobody knows more about lesbian scissoring than men with Now, it's one thing to embarrass
Why are you
yourself
talking about
by
that?
throwing your own stinky intellectual property up all over your shoes. It's quite another to defile a beloved character recognized by much of the Western world.
Who was defiled?
Recently, Evil Hat was awarded the license to make a Tomb Raider tabletop role-playing game, featuring, of course, the one and only Lara Croft.
I'm gonna eat this
Crystal
orange
Dynamics
rapidly.
currently owns the property. Obviously, the flagship products here being video games. But if you had any hope that future video games in the line will be free from any woke idiocy, well, just look who they gave their tabletop rights to. I wouldn't hold out much hope here. This game will be called Tomb Raider Shadows of Truth. The cover features Lara, a chubby black amputee queen, two angry white chicks, Bartolo Colon's fatter younger brother, and nary a white dude in sight. In other words, Evil
white
Hat's
dudes?
ideal game table.
It's a Lara Croft game. There was no white dudes to play as in any of the games. What? You kill a lot of white dudes in Lara Croft games.
Remember, it's a feature, not a bug, people.
I don't. What's
Now,
he
if you
trying
had
to call
any
back
hope
to?
of playing an exciting, traditional pulp adventure where you dare the jungle, avoid
this like a
dangerous
mobile
traps,
game or
and
something?
fight
Why is he
deadly
upset?
Guardians to win a legendary artifact, well, you obviously think it's 2005. No, sir. According to an early snippet in this game, you're going to be an anti-colonialist who works to reclaim raider culture. Good luck with that. Someone who stops the liberating of artifacts from people who, well, obviously
base,
don't
that's
care
fun.
enough to do it themselves.
That's fun.
Or when they do, are just as likely to take a sledgehammer to them. I guess you can't
What?
appropriate what's been smashed to pieces. That's probably called a partial success in this game. The hilarious thing
All right.
here is
Okay, first of all, if those are your monuments, you can smash your own monuments. Who gives a fuck? Second of all, I think those were like far right-wing religious people doing that every time. You know? Conservatives.
when it's applied to Lara Croft or
Say
any
something
other
nice? Huh?
white character who's playing in it, it
Uh-oh.
becomes nothing more than classic white savior syndrome. That's why this genre falls apart completely when you take it out of the realm of the lone treasure hunter seeking fortune and glory. But naturally,
You can only tell one kind of story? These guys are so fucking lame. Every single type of their, like, disagreement, like, every permutation of their disagreement is some form of, I don't like that you changed the story that I like. It's like, tell the story you want, man. You're at the table with yourself and your friends. You don't need to listen to anyone else's ideas of what the story ought to be. You can just have your own stories. Who cares? It's so precious, dude. I don't understand. Lara Croft is not after fortune and glory. She's a scholar. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He wasn't talking about... He was still talking about that. I forget because he's Diversities and Dragons. I thought he was talking about, like, the ideal adventurer trope. Like of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm an adventurer looking for gold, which is boring. Like, you can have a wealth component to it, but why do you want the wealth is the story, not that you want wealth, right? Why do you want the wealth? I have a debt to pay off. I have a this or that. I have a, you know, my mom is dying from poverty. That's a good motivator. I'm trying to think of say something nice. You know what? He's smoother than I thought he would be under the beard. I thought he would be a little more grizzled, but it looks like he's had a nice, easy life. And I love that for him. I wish that for all old people. I wish that he could experience a long, smooth life. I need it for my spells because wizarding is pay-gated. Well, that's definitely how 5e decides it. I like having resources for spells a lot in general. But there's like how to balance that from being a slog of just like trying to grab supplies all the time. That's why they have component pouches, and then they have like material components, and that have a monetary cost, and it's just like, well, depending on your economy, it might be different. So, you know, we kind of go with what would vibe well, but
Truly, Evil Hat is too up their own ass to recognize this. They'd have no problem turning Lara into a nagging suburban Karen who has to do the heavy lifting for the poor brown people. This is, of course, not a problem with the folks at Evil Hat. Leftist white women are the frontline soldiers in their dumb cultural vandalism.
Dude, I wish white women were the vanguard of the leftist movement. That would be awesome. We would fucking crush.
I hope you have a
Dr. Randy, get one a Tesla coil. There you go. You don't have to sub. Thank you, Dr. Randy. Appreciate that.
They're proud to be part of. In addition to reforming raider culture, they also want your character to
Isn't it Lara?
raise awareness of peers, whatever the hell that means.
Saying Lara?
I guess nothing says pulse-pounding action more than delivering a speech on archaeological diversity at the Chicago Airport Marriott. Like so much of what's vomited out of the left, this is just the policing of thought, demonstrated absurdly at the end of the released snippet.
What is the thought that's being policed?
Here they expressly tell you the kind of game you have to run, saying you must address colonialist themes and respect the people and the cultures you encounter. In a modern setting, that might include ISIS, right?
What?
I suppose your
No.
characters will just have to nod
Couch-locked
sagely
berserker.
when Mohammed invites you to the acid-throwing hoedown on those uppity women who just want a higher education. Hey,
Why is he pretending that's like a leftist or left-leaning thing? What? Why do they conflate? I don't understand that. So you think that women ought to have higher education, right? That's a good thing.
don't judge, you colonialist pig. This game will use the lazy, powered by the apocalypse system.
Is he saying that we can colonize people if they are bad? We can colonize them if they're bad?
It's a system that has its place, but also makes it easy for writers who don't have time for mechanics and just want to shoehorn into the games their own wacky agendas.
What's wacky?
It was used in Thirsty Sword Lesbians, here in the Tomb Raider RPG, and also in the just-announced God Killer RPG from none other than Connie Chang. Now, I've given more than my share of flack to Connie in the past.
Have you?
She actually helped kickstart my channel with her lunacy. Hell, she's immortalized in the intro to every one of my live streams.
Is she?
But I can say that on first glance, Connie's game looks far more interesting here.
God Killer is a holy punk powered by the Apocalypse game for one player, the God Killer, and one game master, the God of Gods. Together, the two of you will weave a mythic, violent, and transformative tale about the only mortal in existence with the power to slay a god, rising against the challenge of the divine. Which gods will you kill to shape the realm, and which gods will you spare? The one-on-one RPG stuff is pretty neat, I guess, if you're into that. I would say, personally, I crave the group setting and to kill God, so we'll do both.
Than the Tomb Raider game. At least you seem to get
cool,
to kill things in her game instead of time, which is pretty much
Max
the only
lazy?
thing you're going to be killing in the Tomb Raider RPG by Evil Hat.
I bet he thinks that.
I think this game is going to be utter crap. They've already told you so. Nobody wants to watch a movie or
Holy Punk sounds like a cool aesthetic. It really does.
play a video game where the heroes do this type of nagging, condescending, boring crap.
What is he
Nobody's going to want to do it in an RPG.
Dude, okay, we are woke. We are big wokies, okay, in our D&D group. I do not recall a single woke thing happening. I think the funniest stuff is like when I'm playing like an Ans Brunnian or something and I do a little Nazi voice. Because they're kind of like Nazis a little bit, but not really. They're not like racial supremacist Nazis. They're more like our way of life is great, which is not too dissimilar.
Either. Now, that doesn't mean that the game won't do well. Like Thirsty Sword Lesbians, people will buy it as a
Thirsty
statement,
Sword
put it on their shelf,
Lesbians.
and never touch it again. I suppose that is their right, but it's not going to have any long-term impact. But it'll make enough that Evil Hat will have the money to continue putting out games like this that nobody will play in any significant numbers. So the wheel keeps turning. the tabletop RPG industry continues its slow march into oblivion. As games from companies like Evil Hat spam the market, little bits of it die. Sociopaths who aren't interested in making fun games, but rather personal political manifestos to sell to their audience of, now, committed Marxists. They will continue to feast off of this dying body, not realizing, or perhaps just not caring, that they're making themselves obsolete in the process. There will come a time when not even their hardcores will buy these types of game books. It's inevitable for games where your character can't die and you're just there to fulfill the political fantasies of its narcissistic creators.
You can't die.
Maybe when they leave the room...
Who runs games that can't die? What is he talking about? Why is he so... Okay, if you want to play a game where you guys can't die or whatever, you can do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. But, like, no one plays that way. No one I know. Silly.
Those of us who know what tabletop gaming is supposed to be can come back and pass it on to the heirs who truly deserve it. Gatekeep your hobbies, people, or sociopaths like Evil Hat will seek to destroy it. Well, that's all for now. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
I think this sucked, dude. I think this sucks. I don't think you're very good at this. What? Let me know what you think. And he has this weird ethereal fucking... Let me know what you think.
Good or bad? If you're subscribed to this channel, just check and make sure, would you? I've had a few people tell me that they thought or knew they were subscribed, and surprise, they weren't. While I'm not alleging anything, why not check just to make sure? And remember to join us every Wednesday for The Lair. That's our weekly live stream. Me and a couple of my friends go over news of the day, talk to interesting people, wisecrack, even do a little live play.
A little wisecracking in live play.
That's all for now. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until we talk again, goodbye.
Dude, his voice is like cracking at the end. That's pretty weird. I don't know why this would upset him. Like, he's just upset that Tomb Raider... He wasn't even really talking about Tomb Raider that much. No such thing as an apolitical game. This page from the Thirsty Sword Lesbian sums up our stance quite nicely. If you don't like our politics, don't buy our games. Yeah, I mean, just don't. He's so obsessed with the Thirsty Sword Lesbians. So is this like a fucking mobile game? Why is he upset about this? Who cares? It's always the fucking end of the world. It's always the end of the world with these guys. Look at them destroying our fucking way of life, one mascot at a time. What do you got here? Just Patreon guys? Let's see. Do you have... Roll for initiative. Fight and win. Is this an ad for the thing you're doing? Oh no. It's like shit. What's happening? Oh. Oh, buddy. You good? Oh, you're leaving that there a long time. Yeah, bro. Rad. This is so fucking cool. Sheesh. Glowing a horse up? Hitting horses with some glows? Gag? I don't know. This is a long sizzle reel. How long is it? Dude, you got nudes on here? What the fuck? Am I seeing? Oh, I'm glad I stopped. This guy, dude. This fucking guy. Why are they all like this? Why can none of them fucking handle it? Their sexualities are so strange.